put your hands together for our Straight Talk hosts, Kevin and Kristie.
Hey! Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today at Straight Talk.
Yes, welcome, everyone. We're so glad each and every one of you are here in our studio audience
Yes.
and those watching on TV.
Yes. Well, we're getting close to fall, and
Yes, we
I'm
are.
telling you, it has been a muy caliente summer. Like, that means very hot, in case you didn't know.
Yeah,
Muy
thank you.
caliente. I mean, it's been hard to stay cool. It really has.
Yeah, but babe, you're always cool, so
Come on. Aww.
what can you say?
Aw. Well, normally during the summer, we like to take our boat out to stay cool. I don't
Yeah.
know how you guys stay cool, but we like to take our boat out. But we have been so busy, we haven't even had a chance to take our boat out. So I had to look up some other ways to stay cool, and I found a few DIY ways to stay cool.
Do it yourself.
Yes, do it yourself. You want to see some?
All right,
Let's take a look at a few DIY ways to stay cool. We got some things right here that I think are pretty cool. And the first thing that we have is what we like to call a pop. No, this is ice cube necklace.
That is
Yeah, an ice cube necklace. Check that out. You want to try it on, babe?
No, I think I'm good. That's
Okay.
melting pretty fast.
Yeah. I'm not gonna try it on. But in the heat of summer, you're gonna want this. It's an ice cube necklace.
yeah.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Not
Yep.
a bad idea, especially if
then-
you're just sitting outside in the warm sun.
That's right. And then we also have the second thing we've got is you know how the people have misters?
Yes.
And so when it's cool
Yes.
outside, you can just and mist yourself.
yourself.
So I've got a mister here, and I want to try it on you. It's
No, I think
not
I'll
it's
try it
not
on you.
water. It's
I
mint.
think I'll try it on
It's
you.
mint tea. It's mint tea.
Ah.
So you know, mint tea, it keeps
Okay.
you cooler. Okay,
Get
try
ready
it.
for
Try
this.
it.
Are
Here
you
we
ready?
go. You ready?
Keep those eyes closed.
Hey,
How was that? Refreshing?
it's awesome actually because it also clears your
Oh.
sinuses.
That
That's
smells.
I mean
that smells.
that mint
This is
tea
supposed to
is
be green tea.
that's
but
super cool.
Yeah.
We might try that
not
one.
that.
We
You
might
want to try it again?
One more time. One more
Okay,
time.
one
One
more
more time. Yes. I'm so cool. I'm so cool.
Refreshing.
And then the final one, I'm not too down with this, but I want you to try it, babe.
Oh, I'll try it.
So this is they're like hot Takis.
Takis.
I could never eat these because they're too hot. But
So, okay,
but
how
the-
does this keep you cool? So your mouth is so hot.
Yes.
Feel better
So
outside?
that's the whole idea is you
All right,
take
let's
one
do
of
it.
these and
Okay.
it's so hot that you feel cooler on the outside. Really? You like those? For real?
You want to try one?
No, I'm good. Okay, so do you feel cooler?
I feel
Do you-
fabulous.
Do you feel colder though? Like are you
Fabulous.
freezing?
No, actually, I'm breaking out in a sweat. but
See, that's what I thought. I didn't think that one would work. I really didn't think that one would work.
but
But
they're
anyway.
good. That's good stuff right
So
there.
then there's more DIY. You just got to look them up. Take a look. Just Google it. All right, Google it. Anyway.
Well, these are some pretty interesting ideas
I like it.
here. Some of them work well,
I
some
like
of
it.
them not so well. But moving on, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome DJ Master
Kay
K.
Tizzle!
Hello.
Kaylani, what's up?
You crack me up.
What? I mean, do you eat the Takis?
I actually can't. I'm a whip.
I can't either.
Yeah,
they're,
I can't.
they're way too hot.
my
Kennedy,
sister
yeah,
does.
your sister
I'm
loves them.
choking on
Yes.
the Takis
See?
right now
See, you need some anyway.
in my mouth.
That is.
All
funny.
right.
So how do you stay cool in the summer?
I
What's your
take
favorite
a lot of. Well, actually, I'm not good at it yet. I've been practicing though on taking colder showers.
Colder showers?
It's proven to help a lot actually
good
throughout
for
your
you.
day. Yeah, it's good for you, but I'm
I
not
already
quite
do.
there yet. We're getting there.
I just can't do it. I've heard though that people will like take a really hot shower and then all of a sudden turn it all the way cold.
That's
have
what I'm
to
doing.
cool it down.
That's
You've
what
gotta
I've
be-
been doing.
How can you
It's
do
good
that?
for your hair.
It-
It's good for your skin.
it's not fun.
It's good for your muscles. Do it.
I'm not down with that one. I am not down. I'm a whip. I gotta have a hot shower and a lengthy hot shower. You know what I'm saying?
Caliente when I turn it on in the morning after he's been in.
Anyway, that's a lot of fun, and I'm gonna try. You need to try this, K Dizzle. No,
It's
can you
actually
feel
good.
it? Can you feel it?
Yeah, it's
Minty tea. So you can literally. It's
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Anyway, folks, we have a great show for you today. We've got the music of Jacob Gutierrez
Yes.
from C3 North NEPDX. and we'll chat with his founding pastor of the church, Seth Brooks, good friend of ours. Pastor Seth Brooks is in the house. And then later we'll continue our discussion on Straight Talk called Stay in Your Lane. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Your power, you perform miracles, and there is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made a way. You move the mountains, you cause walls to fall with your power.
When I'm listening to a customer, my number one priority is to listen.
In every moment that I'm with this customer or this client, am I doing everything that I can to look out for their best interest at the end of the day?
Just make sure they have plenty of options and they're happy with the choice that they make. It doesn't matter what we want, everything that they want is what we want to make happen.
At the end of the day, we do a walkthrough, communicate with the customer, make sure they're completely happy with what they've spent their hard-earned money for.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Well, today our very first guest is a talented artist and singer from Portland, Oregon. He's the worship leader at C3 Northeast PDX, and he's here with us now. Put your hands together and help me welcome Jacob GUTIERREZ.
You made a way when our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over. You made a way, and we're standing here only because you made a way. 'Cause you're moving mountains, you cause walls to fall with your power. Perform miracles, and there is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made a way. You made a way when our backs were against the wall and it looked as if it was over. You made a way, and we're standing here only because you made a way. You move the mountains, you cause the walls to fall with your power. You perform miracles, and there is nothing that's impossible. And we're standing here only because you made a way. You move the mountains, you cause walls to fall with your power. Oh, backs were against the wall, and it looked as if it was over. You made a way, and we're standing here only because you made a way.
Come on, everybody, put your hands together for Jacob! Well, that was so awesome, man. How you doing? We're so glad that you're on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
Now, listen, how long have you been doing music?
So I actually grew up in church,
Okay.
and I've been singing since I was a little kid.
Well, we can tell.
Yes.
So what if the audience wanted to see more or hear more of your music? Do you have a website, a YouTube, or?
I don't. They can come and visit us at
There you
C3
go. And where are
Church.
they going to go?
C3
C3 Church?
Northeast Portland.
Let's go. On Sundays at what time?
Sundays at 10 a.m.
Come check out Jacob, everybody. Give it up one more time for Jacob Gutierrez. And listen, when we come back, we've got more straight talk for you, so don't go too far. We'll be right back right after these commercial breaks. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And today we have our good friends. We got Jacob, who did an incredible job singing for us in the last night. That was awesome. And Pastor Seth, the founder of C3 Northeast PDX. And they're going to be helping us with our fun segment, guys. And this is a brand new game we've never played before called Mystery. Box of Mysteries. It's Box of Mysteries. Box of Mysteries, okay? So guys, this is how we're going to play this. You're going to each step up and you're going to be blindfolded, both of you. We're going to put a box in front of one of you. You'll have to reach in the box, feel an item. You have to describe that item so your partner can guess exactly what it is. Do not say what it is for those of you describing it because you'll hear this sound. Okay, you'll be buzzed and you won't get that point. But if you get the word correctly, if you get the item correctly, you're going to hear this sound. All right? And you'll get a point. The team that gets the most points in 30 seconds wins. Here we go. Step on up, you guys. Step on up. Put your blindfolds on. And you know the rules. You know the rules. All right? Let me get you your mystery box. And I will thank you, Evan, our stage hand today. And we'll let the audience see that. Don't put your hands in yet. And what we're going to do is you're going to be counted down, and you'll have 30 seconds to guess as many items. You can say pass, by the way. If you just can't figure it out, you can say pass, set it to the side, pick another item. Are you ready? Pastor Seth, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Jacob, you ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Go for it.
Okay, it feels like a plant-like substance that has attached itself to an egg, and in turn has attached itself.
Jacob, you got to guess what it is.
It's something that my cat might play with a pass.
Okay, pass. Next item, next item.
Ooh, okay, a metal-like kind of. Ooh, it has a sound to it.
Jacob, what do you think it is?
Tape
measure.
A tape
Yes!
measure! Yes! Oh, thank you. Ooh, okay, this feels plasticky and like an egg again. It feels egg-like. And that's about all I've got. It feels like a plastic egg, but it's heavier than a plastic egg. And it makes no noise at all. Pass! Oh, no.
Pass.
Oh, okay. It's okay, this one has 4 appendages that are pointing downwards with what feels like a flat surface on top and then a back to it.
We'll give you this one guess, Jacob. What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
No idea. All right, you guys got one. You got one. And that was tape measure. That was tape measure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now he's going to try to do the rest? No, that's it.
That's
That's it. Now it's our turn. So good job, guys. Good job. You missed doll, which was the which was the garden item he was describing, and you missed yo-yo, which was the plastic egg he was describing. But you did get the tape measure. Give it up for Jacob and Pastor Seth. All right, you guys. So now it's Pastor Kristie and I. You guys are going to stand right here, and we're going to put ours on, and then Evan's going to come and switch. Do you want to go the other way? What do you guys think? Okay, I'll describe it. Here we go. I'll describe it, and then Evan's going to bring out the new box. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. You guys did okay. You got one. We got to do better and get two. These are tight.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, they are.
You've got the easy ones.
Okay, are you ready? Okay, Dizzle, are we ready? Yep. Count us down, please. 5, Here we go. 4, 3, 2. You ready, Kristie? Okay. All right, the first one. Oh, this is cardboard. It's a cardboard box with paperish stuff coming out of it so that I think so you can blow your nose. Yes, I think that's right. Is that right? Yeah, okay. This is a plastic bag with something in it that I can't feel, but I'm guessing that it's something that you can clean yourself with. One at a time, you can pull it out. Is it wet wipes? Yes, let's go. Okay, this is a plastic thing that I think you can put liquids in and then drink something out of. Yes! Is that right? Okay, this is like a toy that's a stuffed animal. Is it a bear? Okay, it's not a bear. It could be more wild than that. It could be more wild. It could be like rawr. Okay, pass. Okay, I think you wipe yourself with this. Yeah. Is that right? We got them all. That's it. That was it. There's one more? Oh, we're out of time. But I would have to say that was probably easier than your right. I don't know what happened, but ours was a little bit easier than your guys. But ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Kevin and Kristie wins the game. Yeah. Good try, guys. Well, no, I thought it was a lion anyway. All right, that was a lot of fun. But hey, when we come back, we'll sit down with Pastor Seth Brooks from C3 Northeast PDX, and later on in the show, we'll continue our talk on Stay in Your Lane. Don't go away. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. Hey.
At Advantage Heating and Air, we believe in our craftsmanship. Did you know the same piece of equipment installed by 2 different contractors can perform up to 50% differently? And the number one source for failure of an HVAC within the first 5 years is due to improper installation. That's why we train 3 times a week. That's why we're the best trained craftsmen in the area. And that's why we're extending our warranty. The average system is replaced every 15 years, and the typical labor warranty is 2 to 3. So we're giving you 20 years. Why? Because we're obsessed with giving you the quality, reliability, and peace of mind you deserve.
Show. We had Pastor Seth and Jacob, and I want to welcome him back. Today's first guest is with us, and he was born and raised in Perth, Western Australia, and he moved to San Diego, California in 2008. Seth served as a youth pastor, associate pastor, and a Bible college principal for over 20 years in Perth and San Diego before moving to Portland in 2013. And October 1st, Seth and his lovely wife, Kaz, we know her well, launched C3 Northeast PDX. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for our guest, Pastor Seth Brooks. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. It's so good to see you, man. Good to have you with us. Come on. Have a seat. Well, Seth, it's been so fun. What a fun show. I mean, you got kind of got hosed on the game, I think.
I think the game was rigged. It was lack of justice.
You had like
You had a toilet roll, for goodness sake. I had an egg-like plastic thing.
Yo-yo.
Oh my gosh, you had an egg-like plastic.
Yo-yo.
And you hid the string. Like there was no string. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're sorry. We're sorry. Anyway, it's good to have you on the show. How's your wife? How's the church?
Wonderful, wonderful, yes.
It's awesome, huh?
Yeah, the kids
Yes.
are getting big.
I have a
Oh my
14-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter, going on 16-year-old
Yeah,
daughter. She
right?
is, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I too am a man under authority. So.
So you came from Australia, right? I mean, you sound Australian.
Perth, Australia,
Perth,
from
Australia.
Portland, Oregon, which is where we live. You really can't go much further
Yeah.
Right.
and still be on land short of Antarctica. Yeah, it's the other side.
And so really, when you think about it, it hasn't been that long since you've
Yeah.
come to the States.
No,
'Cause
it's been
you
around
came
10 years. Yeah.
10 years
Yeah,
only.
yeah.
Has it been crazy to see the difference?
I love America.
Do you?
Oh, I love this place.
That's awesome.
America has little things that people take for granted. You guys have magic groundhogs. Have you ever thought about groundhogs? Like, we don't have groundhogs in Australia. They can tell the future. They can tell the weather. We have nothing like this, Kevin.
my
We
God.
have spiders,
Yeah.
rats, snakes, cockroaches, sharks. I was lucky to make it out alive. The worst thing I've encountered in Portland is a squirrel. A not very friendly squirrel, but there's nothing that can hurt you.
Squirrel.
I love Portland.
Oh my gosh, I remember one of our first conferences here, and
Yes.
Seth came out, and I felt like you were a stand-up comic because you literally cracked me up as to why you came to America.
Yes.
Like, we need
Yeah.
to make a movie.
American Ninja Warrior, I think, was the reason at the time.
Oh, did you compete in American Ninja
No, I
Warrior?
did not. But man, that is everything right about America, that show. It's awesome.
All right, well, so tell us about your ministry in Australia, though. So you were doing ministry in Australia before you came here.
You know, I was 27 years old when I met my father for the first time, Kevin and Kristie. And so my mom, from the youngest of ages, encouraged me to approach God as my heavenly Father. And I found that as I did that from a very young age, far from God pushing me away, I felt his encouragement. I felt him providentially make a way for me in life. I felt fathered through his presence and through positive, like, male mentor figures that God put in my life. And that happened a lot through the church. And, over time, I started to feel just a real affinity with the house of God. I started to feel like it was a place, my father's house, and it became a place that I just loved being. My mom also taught me, Seth, in life you have to work hard. Seth, in life you should always give more than you take. And you should be polite. You should have good people skills. So I found that as I really applied these things, and that people invited me into spaces that there was opportunity for success, particularly around church and the house of God. So over time, I was 21 years old when I was invited to go on staff as a high school's evangelist, going into schools telling people about Jesus, which in Australia is a little different to here. It's something you can do.
So what brought you to America?
Yes, so like I said, I met my father for the first time when I was 27. He actually lived in the United States a few years later. He said, Seth, I have terminal cancer. I have 6 months to live. And it was in that moment that I really felt a strong impression. I was married at the time with an 8-month-old son, and I felt that it was a good time to prioritize connection with my father and meeting my half-siblings. So I moved to San Diego, California, and in that time fell in love with the United States.
Because of the groundhogs.
Because of magic groundhogs and American Ninja Warrior.
That's awesome.
And Thanksgiving turkey. Don't forget Thanksgiving
Gotta
turkey.
have Thanksgiving turkey.
So as such, really got to know America, and then over time had an invitation that led to us pastoring in Portland.
Okay,
so you were in San Diego and then moved to Portland through an invitation to pastor.
I actually received an invitation, not to Portland though. I actually received an invitation to Las Vegas, of all places.
Really?
Oh.
But the way we were going to get there was through Portland. That was our sending church, and so we ended up in the Portland area.
Okay.
There's a lot of magic in Las Vegas as well.
Yes.
So you came to Portland, and that's when you entered into ministry, or you were doing ministry in San Diego?
I'd been pastoring in some magnificent churches, churches that had high integrity, where leadership was shown and modeled, and just beautiful environments to grow up in, really, as a teenager and young adult. So when I arrived in America, I just had a heart, I guess, that God would use our family to sort of have that kind of church experience here in the States. There are many great churches in the United States, but there's also some places, like for instance, where we ended up launching our church, only 3% of people go to church.
Wow.
The other 97% don't. So we said, what a great place for a church. And I think I was just driving one day through the streets of Northeast Portland, and as I was driving through, I felt a softness in the heart of God. It wasn't like God said, this is the place you're going to launch a church. It was like when I married my wife. God didn't say, you shall marry her. But I felt a softness in the heart of God that if I asked, and if she said yes, I might be on a really good thing. And it was kind of that with Northeast Portland. I felt like God was doing something there. And if I really invested into that space, God was doing something great there.
Yeah.
Well, we love your wife, and you did well there.
Yes.
Way to be obedient there, too. That's awesome. You and your kids and everything.
Yeah.
So when we met, you made a call here, right, at Connection Life Church?
That's right. At the time, we were really trying to find a way forward to launch our church.
Yes.
We did not necessarily have a venue. We did not have even people to come along. We did not have finance for a church. All the things that you need to really do a church well. So as such, we felt led to just go and connect with pastors that were already doing the work, that were where we wanted to be come years from now. And as such, we met, of course, this wonderful couple that I'm talking to now. And I said, Kevin, what would you do in my situation?
I remember the day when you and a couple of your board members, or I can't remember who the men that you brought with you, but we were in my office back here.
Yes.
And from there, this relationship, I just love and value. Kristie and I both value this relationship. You guys are doing amazing things out there too. So what are you guys doing now with the church, C3 Northeast PDX? You're doing...
well, like you said, we launched in October of 2017, and you were both there on the front row.
We were privileged to be there.
We lost our sound system, would you believe it, 2 days prior to our launch, along with our venue. And again, it was you guys who had a spare sound system and who got that thing up to us very, very quickly. The church launched successfully, and a great group of people that God brought together. Now, this was pre-COVID, but as we started really sort of getting momentum as a church, COVID was upon us. And what an opportunity that was to serve the needs of our area. Some of those most vulnerable, obviously, as the entertainment industry and the restaurant industry. Portland is, there's a lot of indoor entertainment, a lot of indoor dining kind of spaces because of our weather. And as such, we found that many people were out of work and did not have margin and needed food and needed these basic necessities to be provided. As a church, we already had a food pantry that was running, but across that period of time, the lines got longer and longer and longer to the point where we just had lines of cars and we would put boxes and boxes of food in each car and then send them on their way.
Oh, the photos are crazy. Just cars lined up down that road, that main road that you're right there on.
That's right. And so our numbers went from like 1,000 a month to 20,000 people a month. This is a church that's just out the door. And we found that we didn't even run services across that time because it was COVID, of course. But what we did do is we served the needs of people in that season. So during COVID,
you served 20,000 people a month?
A month. That is correct.
Amazing.
Yes.
Come on, you guys.
That's
awesome.
We have fed 250,000 people since COVID began.
250,000 people.
That's more than the population of Eugene, Pastor Kevin,
That's awesome. So you guys will continue that? It's growing still?
We are no longer serving quite what I would call the quantities that we were during peak season of COVID. It has dialed down to a certain extent. However, we still feed the lines of cars as they come through each week. We partner with agencies. We've found that's very effective to actually put our food in the hands of other people that have their own lines of cars and have their own needs that our food can meet.
Well, we only have a minute left, but tell us quickly, what is the vision now going forward? What can we expect from C3 Northeast PDX in the future? Like
As a young kid, Kevin, as a young kid, I was able to go to a beautiful church where the presence of God filled the place. Really incredible mentors and people around me that spoke belief, spoke life. My mom was supported as a single mom, and as all the things I've experienced, that's the kind of church we want to have for those that come.
That's awesome. Well, we believe that God's going to grant you that, and He's going to bless you.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've been there, we've been there together with you, and your ministry is beautiful. What Kaz does with the kids and the people are it's beautiful, and you have a great
you can
team.
feel the presence of the Lord in that house.
And you got a worship leader that can wail. That's awesome. With that,
Awesome.
That was some good music.
Jacob can sing.
Yes, he
Yes.
can.
Yes.
And we'll hear him a little bit more at the end of the show.
Wonderful.
But it's been such a pleasure having you with us, doing the game, having you on the show, being part of the new assignment that Kristie and I are in.
It's great to be here in your studio.
I love it. Thank you
you
so much for coming. You guys give it up for Seth Brooks. It's been awesome. But I'm going to ask you this. Can you stick around and join Kristie and I in our teaching? Because I think it would be awesome to hear some perspective there as well.
I'd love
We're
to.
talking about staying in your lane.
Wow.
And it's a powerful discussion. So don't go too far away, guys. We're going to be right back with Pastor Seth Brooks as we continue our discussion called Stay in Your Lane. All right, we'll be right back.
To start our discussion time. Last week we started a new series called Stay in Your Lane. And we're going to continue that series this week. And we have our guest, Seth, with us.
Yes, Seth is going to be joining us in the
joining our
teaching.
discussion this morning. So, it's time to talk.
Let's talk. All right.
All right.
All right, Seth, it's so good to have you with our teaching. I hope you don't mind.
Great to be here.
It's going to be awesome. We've been talking about staying in your lane. Last week, we started this discussion, and what we realized is that we just believe that we've been seeing like a lot of failures when people get out of their own lane and try to drive in somebody else's lane, right? So we talked about Kristie's driving.
Spot on. Perfection.
I believe it.
Have you ever
Stay
had
out of my lane.
I believe it. I
have
won't
you
hear
ever-
anything
Have
else.
you ever had somebody cut you off or get in your lane?
I have. Most annoying.
It's annoying and
Right?
dangerous.
It's
Yes.
It's so annoying.
They'd have found out I was driving the wrong way down the freeway. But I was at the time under the impression that they were in the wrong lane.
Well, and I want to ask you, when you came to America,
It's
did
not
you
right.
stay in your lane? Because isn't it the
I had
opposite
to learn
lane?
which side of the
Yeah.
road to drive on.
That's right.
correct.
And
Yes.
it's dangerous to be in somebody else's
You
lane.
can't be in the wrong lane,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Well, Kristie, I was thinking about when we were talking last week about staying in your lane, about me not cooking and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time when we were dating, Seth? When we were dating, we went on this hot date. Okay, this is before I was still a youth pastor. We went on this hot date in my 1989 Nissan pickup truck.
Oh, wow.
4x4, right?
Now
That's
we're
what I took
talking.
her. I mean, yeah, it was awesome. But do you remember when we pulled into my driveway at the end of the date, and we just sat and talked? And what we talked about was the things. I said, listen, okay, it's starting to get serious. And if we're going to get married, we got to know what our lanes are.
Wow.
So I literally told her, like, I don't do the dishes. I just don't. That's not my lane.
I don't
Wow.
do the dishes.
That's not my lane. I don't do the dishes.
I don't cook.
I don't cook. And
Wow.
but hey, before you get on me, she had her own lanes. Like she's
Oh.
like, okay, while we're sharing lanes,
I don't take
let
out
me
the
share.
trash.
I don't take out the garbage.
I don't do yard work. I don't.
Do you remember that? I mean, we shared
I do
we
remember
shared that stuff because now we've been married 26 years, Seth,
Wow.
and we stay in our lanes.
Beautiful.
And it works.
Wow.
Because let me tell you how dangerous this is. I've tried to do the dishes.
Right.
You know what happens?
Tell me, Kevin, what happens when you do
It's
the
dangerous.
dishes?
I get in trouble. She's like, you didn't do that. Like, you can't. Why you? Because I just, like, if I'm doing the dishes, I just take them and I put them in the dishwasher. You got to
Right.
wash those first.
Right,
I'm like,
Right.
wash them first.
right.
That's
The
what the
dishwasher
dishwasher's for.
The dishwasher
why do I have to-
simply
Li-
sterilizes the
if-
dishes.
If I'm going to
You
wash,
gotta get the nasty food out.
I don't
before
understand.
you
I don't
put it.
understand. Seth, do you wash dishes?
I wash dishes,
Do
Kevin.
you put them in a dishwasher?
I put them in a dishwasher.
Do you pre-wash them before you
I
put them?
pre-wash them before I
you
put them in
really?
the dishwasher,
Oh,
Kevin.
Seth.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you drive that lane. That's just not my lane.
I know.
It's just not
I
my
understand.
lane.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm trying to be the man and be in my lane and I'm trying to fix something. And she tries to swerve into my lane, dude.
Wow.
She's trying to like, that's not straight. Did you level that? Did you use a bot? I'm like,
Wow.
Hello, this is my lane,
Right,
right?
right.
It's dangerous when you don't stay in your lane.
Right.
What do you figure, that's a good
A
marriage in
good thing
26
to
years.
work out in a marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, what strengths you bring
Yeah,
into marriage,
yeah,
what strengths you bring
yeah.
to a team, what strengths you bring, yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were at, my friend, Pastor Marlando Jordan.
Right.
We were there just, was that last week?
weekend.
Last weekend. We were there in service with him, and he's doing a series on identity.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is he talks about how God gives you these gifts which create your identity. But when we lose our identity is when we start trying to dabble in other people's gifts.
Wow.
And so I told him, it made me think, like when we start trying to drive in other people's lanes, we lose our own identity. But if you stay in your own lane, then that becomes your identity even stronger, and there's no question about it, right? I mean, you're a minister of the gospel, you started a church, you know what your lane is. Tell me, do you have an example of when you got out of your lane?
Well, I was just going to say, Kevin, sometimes when I'm getting out of my lane, it's because I think I can get a place faster. I think if
that's
this
true.
is the
That's
right,
true.
this is the lane that's best. But I just see another vehicle in the moment driving past
Yeah.
me, and I think if I just get into that lane, but you know what? We all get there
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
within 30 seconds of
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
It's so
I didn't
true.
need to switch between
Yeah.
lanes. There was a lane for me. I should have just stuck with
Yeah.
it
That's
and
so
enjoyed the drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true. People enjoy what they're doing more if they could just thrive in their own lane and thrive in their own giftings instead of, looking at their neighbor and maybe their successes in their lane and with their giftings, and they see that, and instead of just saying, I'm happy being me, being the best me I can be, they're like, I want to be that person. I want to do that, So they try to jump into that lane, and then they're like not enjoying life. Life is just passing them by. They're not happy. They're not, they're just not thriving there,
Right.
And if we just get back in our own lane, we thrive. We get to relax and enjoy the ride in life as we're going along.
And Pastor Seth, as a pastor, you probably see it in the church like we did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There are people that go into church and they want to be the worship pastor,
Right.
but they also want to be the kids pastor,
Right.
and they also
Yeah.
want to be this and that.
Yeah.
It's like if you've been given the gift to teach, then stay in that lane, right? I mean, have you ever had somebody try to do the wrong?
I'm fully convinced that if we were absolutely of the belief that the lane that I'm in is so expansive, there's so much opportunity
Yeah.
within the lane that I'm in.
Right.
If I only had a full understanding that God's destiny, that He has allotted for me, that if I just stay in my lane, it's going to be far more than I could ever dream or
Yeah.
imagine.
So
It's large and it's expansive
Yeah,
place, and
that's
I'm
good.
purpose built. I'm designed to be successful in this
Yeah.
space, but so often we are looking at someone
Somebody
else
else's lane.
and we see their success
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
something that we are not necessarily secure enough even
Right.
Yeah.
to celebrate that success out of fear that their success
Right.
means our lack of success.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if we can flip that
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
see that I have such an incredible life ahead
Yeah.
that I'm purpose built
Yeah.
for, as does the person in the lane next to me, I can celebrate their win because my win is coming.
Yeah.
I can celebrate their win because I have a part to play in their win.
Right.
And as such,
You're still on your way to your win.
I think that we have our own lane to run in, and we
Yeah.
should run in it with all we have.
We spoke on Romans last week,
Right.
and we were saying all the different gifts, and one of them was the gift of giving.
Wow.
And God doesn't give you the gift of giving without giving you the provision to give.
Wow.
If you've been given that gift, God always gives you the provision to be what He's made you to be.
Wow.
With the gifts and talents that are in you, He'll give you the provision to be that.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a good example of what you just said. God will give you the provision. You might not have seen the fulfillment of something yet, but it's on the way.
Yes.
God's given you the provision for it.
And so often we see the car in front of us has stopped. And now we are tempted to get out of our lane. We're feeling, oh, maybe I should get out.
Yeah.
What we don't know is our season of momentum is coming. Our season of momentum, if we will just stick with, apply, train, grow, continue to apply discipline in the lane that we're in, we will get to where we've got to go.
Absolutely. I know that in our experience as pastors, you know, some people, they want to be on the worship team, but God has not given them the gift to run that race, to run that lane.
Right.
And if they get up there on the stage, they take the mic, they can't sing a lick, they're off key, they're off beat. We had one person, they thought for sure they were supposed to be on the tambourine, and yet I think my daughter was leading worship, like, Dad, she's throwing us off, like, this can't work, right? But it's because people aren't staying in their lane, and we gotta. Some people were gifted to do worship. Some, like Jacob, right? Some people were gifted to sing. Some people were gifted to teach. Some people were gifted to preach. Some people were gifted to prophesy. God has given us all of these giftings, and we need to run in that race. That's where we need to go.
And I think there's a lot of honor for people who are out of the spotlight. For those, you know, I would be nothing without my mom. I'd be nothing without people who are in our church that are doing things with their gifting, with their talent. The only reason that the electric lights are on is because someone with the gift of giving. The only reason that we're able to do things in the spotlight is because of other giftings at work. And I think they're worthy of great honor.
Well, this has been a great discussion so far, but we got to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back and continue our discussion on staying in your lane.
Yes.
When I'm listening to a customer, my number one priority is to listen.
In every moment that I'm with this customer or this client, am I doing everything that I can to look out for their best interest at the end of the day?
Just make sure they have plenty of options and they're happy with the choice that they make. It doesn't matter what we want. Everything that they want is what we want to make happen.
At the end of the day, we do a walkthrough, communicate with the customer, make sure they're completely happy with what they've spent their hard-earned money for.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Straight Talk. Welcome back.
Yes. Before the break, we were talking about how some people struggle with their identity because they've gotten out of their lane. They're obsessed with driving in everyone else's lane. And last week, we were in Romans 12, 6 through 8. And God made it very clear that each of us was given our own gifts. And we should operate in those gifts. And we should operate well in those gifts. I mean, really, if we're if we're just paying attention to our own gifts and what's already in us, what's already been put there, if we would just pour everything we have into that, we would operate well in that gifting.
But now I want to dive into Hebrews. Pastor Seth, we appreciate you joining us. I want to dive into Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. And we kind of reviewed this before the show, but it says this: therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up. And I want to stop right there for a second, because you know what sometimes it trips us up is, you were talking about how everybody sees the success of others, right? So that sin is kind of like envy, jealousy. That'll trip us up when we want what everybody else has. So he says, especially sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. And I think this is important to note that he has set specifically a race before you.
Yes.
Specifically a race before us.
Yes.
Not everybody's assignment is to produce a television show.
Yeah.
Not everybody's assignment is to go on the road and evangelize, you know, all year long.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own assignment,
Right.
and not everybody has been given that, you know, that same race.
same
Don't you
thing.
agree?
Yeah, I do, and it's interesting on that last line of that verse. It says, "Let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us."
Right.
Sometimes we're wasting our endurance on the lane we're not supposed to be in, and then we find ourselves really tired in the lane we're supposed to
That's such
be
a good
in,
point.
and running out of fuel. We're running
We
out
get
of
weary.
energy, and
Yeah.
we're just weary, and we feel like we're overextended.
Right.
And I'm like, if we just drop the lane we're not supposed to be in and stay in our lane, we would have so much more to pour into that.
That's
Right.
so
You know what I
good.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It makes me think about Olympics, you guys.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this for a second.
Sure.
Because think about the Olympics. Athletes are at the highest, in the
Yeah.
Olympics, are at the highest
Yeah.
level imaginable in the world. Like globally,
Right.
this is, if you're competing in the Olympics, it's the highest
Yeah.
level. Now these people in the Olympics, they're only racing 1 or 2 or 3 at the most races. Or competing, right?
Right.
And they're
Whatever
they're only doing
Yeah.
the competition that they prepared for.
Right.
Yes.
They were
Right.
prepared for this race,
Right.
or
Yes.
they were prepared for this
Yeah.
event, and that's the only ones they compete
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And why is it that we feel like we have to try in life to compete in every race,
Right.
Yes.
in
Right.
every event?
I think it's
Yeah.
John C. Maxwell who says, who makes the point that, you know, we can't know everything.
No.
We should
Right.
channel our learning into a few particular themes and
Yeah.
become expert in those themes.
Yeah,
And in
that's
the
good.
book From Good to Great, where it says, what
Yeah.
are we a 10 at in life? What can we do better than the average
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
And to focus ourselves into being
Yeah.
expert in those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think God often drops kind of that desire, that hunger in us for specific things. Like you were just saying.
Yes.
There's a specific thing that you just can't help. You're always drawn to it.
Yes.
So just go after it. Study everything you can about it. You know, attain as much knowledge as you can.
Yes.
That's
The
good.
only successful team or people that I think I know about that got out of their lane and succeeded was that Jamaican crew that did the bobsled.
The bobsled
Come on,
team.
somebody. The
The bobsled team.
Jamaican bobsled team, right? That's a little far out of their lane.
I will say this though, Kevin, with a bobsled, there's only one lane. And you just got to go
There's
for
only
it.
one way
You
to
gotta
go.
go
Straight
for it.
down.
You just got to go for
Oh,
it.
man.
It's so true.
You know, Kevin, you know, Kristie, we need to learn a thing or two from that Jamaican bobsled team.
Seth, you're such a pro.
You know, even churches are sometimes driving in the wrong
I
way.
do believe that.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
believe that. So there's even, we see in the community, churches are trying to be like
Yeah.
the other church.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's going to be churches in Portland that they see your success, and so then they try to do what C3
Yeah.
Northeast Portland does. But not every church is called to drive in your lane,
True.
right?
True.
Churches need to be,
Yeah.
like, I believe that God even sends people to specific churches that have the giftings to take that church in the lane that God has placed before them to run a race. For example, there's some churches that, especially during COVID, man, they were anointed to move forward even during COVID, and they take more of a political stand. They're very vocal on politics, and some people have criticized us because we didn't use our platform to promote any political agenda or side. We just never felt like we were supposed to do. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying churches are wrong for doing that. We just felt like that wasn't the lane God told us to run. You see what I'm saying? But yet some are, and that's their lane. I don't want to jump in that lane. That's not my lane. And then other churches, they're not. They refuse to be online because they felt like, you know, the technology today is driving people to stay home from church. They can think all they want, but certain churches have a certain lane, and I don't think every church is driving in their own lane. What do you think?
Yeah, and I would say that every church has their own song to sing. their own thing to play, their own trumpet to play. Now I can go to other churches and learn trumpet playing techniques, but I can't play their song.
Right.
They are set up to go and play that song beautifully as I am mine. But you know what? I can learn and grow from others as I see them run with endurance rather. The race set before them. I can learn, I can grow by way of comparison in a healthy sense. So that I can run in the lane God has set for us.
That is a good way to put it right there.
Absolutely. Comparison can be really bad.
Yes.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yes.
You can't compare yourself to someone else.
Right.
But sometimes comparison can be good.
It's like travel. You can see what's beautiful about America when you travel the world.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, and just for a couple of examples of how churches are different, there are some churches that have an extreme focus on missions.
Wow.
Their missions outreach or where they reach into is just huge.
Beautiful.
Where some, maybe their mission is just to their local city.
Yes.
Just to their local area.
Yes.
And then others have a huge outreach. Like they reach out into the city, into the state that they're in through different avenues, like you with the food pantry that you had. Their outreach was a little bit different than some other churches. I know there's not probably churches in Portland that don't have as big of a food pantry as yours.
Right.
But they have their own lane.
And you know, I think some churches get criticized for not driving every single lane. Right? So I know that we got criticized quite heavily, and we've been pastors all our marriage, 26 years, and we got criticized pretty heavily for not being in the lane of politics, not being in the lane of missions. Like early on, we didn't focus on missions. Not that we didn't believe in missions or we didn't love missions. It just wasn't our lane. It wasn't our focus, right? So we decided to not put too much energy, because I think you nailed it when you said when you try to be in every lane, you get weary.
Yes.
And we wanted to focus our energy in the lane that God called us to be in,
Yes.
which for us, it was a lot of leadership development. It was a lot of that, right? Discipleship and mentoring. And so we did a lot of that. You came to a lot of our leadership conferences and stuff.
They were such fun conferences.
Yeah,
and I want to say, the lane that you're called to be in is fun.
Yeah.
The lane that you're called to be in is fun.
Yeah.
Man, it's no fun in the other lane. The lane you're called to be in is fun. I remember these conferences were awesome because you guys were running in the lane. You may not be saying things about that political agenda, but you are having fun in the lane God called you to.
That's true.
I appreciate that. And we do have fun, you know, but the key is obedience. We're going to obey God and be in the lane He called us to be. And Seth, we just love you and Kaz.
And you guys have fun in your lane.
You do.
It's fun.
We
if
love
you get a chance to visit C3
make
sure
sure you do.
Make sure you do.
Thank you for having me with you today.
We're so glad that you are with us. It's been such a joy. I do believe that you'll have to come back where we make the game a little bit more even.
Yes.
A little bit. But that's all we have time for today. But we want to thank our guests, Seth Brooks and Jacob Gutierrez, who sang for us and everything like that. We also want to thank our sponsor, Advantage Heating and Cooling, keeping Salem and the Mid-Valley comfortable since 1992. But now, let's go out with more music from Jacob. He's going to bless us again with some more music. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, everybody.
Yes.
God bless.
Feel it all around, all around. I feel it in this room, Holy Spirit move. 'Cause when you have your way, something has to break. Tear down every lie, set the wrong thing right. 'Cause when you have your way, something has to break. Something has to break. It does. It has to break. I feel it in this room. Holy Spirit move. 'Cause when you have your way, something has to break. You tear down every lie. You set the wrong thing right. 'Cause when you have your way, something has to break. Something has to break. Something has to break. Right now in your name, it has to break. Right now in your name, it has to break. It has to break. In your name, it has to break. Yes. Lead me to it. I believe you'll get me to it. I believe you will do it right now. Something has to break. I believe you lead me through it. I believe you'll get me to it. I believe you'll lead me to it right now. Something has to break. I believe you lead me through it. I believe you get me to it. I believe that you will do it right now. Something has to break. I believe you lead me through it. I believe you get me to it. I believe that you will do it right now. Something has to break.
At Advantage Heating and Air, we believe in our craftsmanship. Did you know the same piece of equipment installed by two different contractors can perform up to 50% differently? And the number one source for failure of an HVAC within the first 5 years is due to improper installation. That's why we train 3 times a week. That's why we're the best trained craftsmen in the area. And that's why we're extending our warranty. The average system is replaced every 15 years, and the typical labor warranty is 2 to 3. So, we're giving you 20 years. Why? Because we're obsessed with giving you the quality, reliability, and peace of mind you deserve.